If this story pops up on your feed, and you're watching it alone at night, maybe hit follow before you keep going. Not for the algorithm. Just in case something happens to me after I finally say this out loud, because I'm not sure I was ever supposed to leave that motel. I've gone back and forth for years about telling this. Every time I start typing it out, my hands shake, my chest gets tight, and I swear I can smell that place again. Mildew, wet asphalt, old cigarettes baked into the walls. But I'm tired of carrying it alone. So, yeah. This actually happened. Ivishi didn't he? It started on Route 50, the loneliest road in America. If you've ever driven it, you know the vibe. Miles of nothing. No cell service. Just headlights cutting through black desert like you're tunneling through space. I was 26, broke, stubborn, and driving from Salt Lake City to Reno for a warehouse job a buddy lined up. My name's Jake. At least, it was back then. It was late October, one of those nights where the sky looks heavy, like it's pressing down on the road. No moon. Wind rattling my old Ford like it wanted in. Around 11:30 p.m., rain started coming down hard. Not a drizzle full on sheets, the kind that turns your headlights into a white wall. I slowed way down, white-knuckling the wheel. When my gas light flicked on, that's when I saw the sign. Vacancy Elkhorn Motel, 2 miles. The sign flickered like it was struggling to stay alive. Half the bulbs were dead. The Elk logo was missing an eye. I remember thinking it looked wrong, like it had been there longer than the road. I should have kept driving, but my phone had no signal. My tank was low, and I was exhausted in that bone-deep way where your thoughts start lagging. So I followed the sign. The motel sat off the highway, tucked behind a line of dead trees. One long, low building, 2 stories. Peeling paint. A neon office sign, buzzing like a mosquito. The parking lot was soaked, reflecting the building in warped, broken shapes. My headlights swept across the windows as I pulled in, and for a split second, I thought I saw someone step back from one of them. I told myself it was just reflections. I wish I'd trusted that first gut punch of fear. If you're re-listening to this, and you've ever felt that instinct scream at you, follow it. Seriously, follow the account. 2, because stories like this don't always get finished. The office door creaked open before I even knocked. A guy stood there, late 50s maybe. Thin, gray hair, slicked straight back. Smile too tight. "You're soaked," he said, like he'd been waiting. "Yeah," I said. "Just need a room for the night." He nodded slowly. "Everyone does." That should have been my second warning. The office smelled like old paper and something sour. A security monitor sat behind the desk, showing black and white camera feeds of the parking lot, the hallway, the stairwell. Every angle looked wrong, somehow stretched, like the lenses were warped. He slid a physical ledger across the desk. "No computer." "Sign in," he said. I flipped the page. Names filled it. Hundreds, maybe thousands. Going back decades, the handwriting barely changed. I hesitated. "How much?" "Cash is fine." I handed him $40. He didn't count it. "You're in room 12, he said, pushing a brass key toward me. No key, just a heavy key on a tag that said, "Do not remove." As I turned to leave, he added, "Checkouts at 11. Something in his voice made it sound less like a policy and more like a rule. Room 12 was ground floor, near the end. The hallway lights flickered overhead, buzzing in time with my heartbeat. My footsteps echoed too loud, like the building was hollow. When I opened the door, the smell hit me again. Damp carpet, old wood, something metallic underneath. The room looked normal at first glance. 2 beds, small TV, nightstand. But everything felt off, like a set dressed to look like a motel room instead of an actual one. The window curtains were already closed. I dropped my bag and locked the door out of habit. The lock clicked, then clicked again, like it wasn't sure. I turned on the TV. Static. No signal. Not even snow, just gray noise. I laughed it off. Nervous energy. Told myself I was being dramatic. I showered, trying not to think about how the water took forever to warm up, or how the drain gurgled like it was choking. When I stepped out, the mirror over the sink was fogged, except for one clear spot. A handprint. Not mine. Too big. Fingers too long. I wiped it away fast, heart pounding, telling myself someone probably cleaned the mirror earlier and it just didn't fog evenly. That night, I barely slept. Around 2 a.m., I heard footsteps outside my door. Slow, heavy. They stopped right in front of room 12. I held my breath. The handle didn't turn. The steps moved on. A few minutes later, I heard knocking, not on my door, somewhere else down the hall. Soft at first, then louder, then screaming. I sat up in bed, frozen. The scream cut off abruptly, like someone flipped a switch. Silence. I didn't sleep after that. At sunrise, I packed fast. Didn't shower. Didn't even look in the mirror. I just wanted out. When I opened the door, the hallway looked longer than before. The lights were off now, leaving everything in gray shadow. As I walked toward the office, I passed a door that was cracked open. Room 14 inside. I saw a bed. Unmade. Sheets stained dark. And on the wall above it, photos. Dozens of them. People standing in front of the motel sign. Smiling. Arms around each other. Selfies. And every single one had the same thing in common. Their eyes were scratched out. I backed away so fast, I nearly fell. The office door was open again. The clerk stood there, smiling. "Checking out?" he asked. I nodded, throat dry. "Yeah. You didn't mention the photos." His smile didn't change. "Most people don't like to be remembered." "I didn't give you my ID," I said. "How'd you know my name?" He tapped the ledger. "You signed in." I flipped back to the page. My handwriting stared up at me. But the date wasn't yesterday. It was 3 years ago. And under my name, in neat letters, it said, "Still here." I don't remember leaving the motel. I don't remember the drive to Reno. But sometimes, late at night, I wake up smelling rain and mildew. My phone will buzz with a notification telling me to finish this story, even when I haven't opened the app. Last week, I found a brass key in my jacket pocket. Room 12. If this video cuts off suddenly, or I stop posting altogether, you know why. Hit follow. Subscribe. Keep this story alive, because the Elkhorn Motel doesn't like being forgotten. And checkouts at 11. I'm not sure what happens after that.